All right. So my goal this stream tonight, I've seen 2 videos now that I just came across, attempting to set the land speed record. And I am going to live stream the design and launch and setting of said record, and then I'm gonna refine a video down to 3 minutes or so showing the process. Now, most importantly, we are going to be using conventional methods, right? Because I could set a very unrealistic record. But we're not going to do that. We are not going to set an unrealistic record. I mean, it's realistic, just if you're using the Kraken Drive, you're using an exploit, in my opinion. Like, you're breaking the physics of the game in order to achieve speeds that would otherwise be unachievable. That's just the reality. So you're able to achieve acceleration and thrust that you cannot achieve any other possible way in the game using the Kraken Drive. So it's in a class of its own, right? But here's what we're gonna do. We are going to design a land speeder, and our goal is going to be 700 meters per second on land. Now, whether we can stop before the runway ends or not does not matter, because the 2 videos that I've seen do not take that into consideration. So we will not take that into consideration either. Now, obviously, there's no official criteria for setting the land speed record, but we would like to use the same methodology as the other people who we've seen attempt to set such record. The criteria that I've seen is no Kraken Drive, no clear exploits. You do not need to. The Kerbal does not need to survive the experience. And I think that's pretty much it. Let me check one more thing. I just want to see. I would like to see. So Yeah, I would like to see... Okay, so their Kerbal does technically survive. But yes, so we will take that into consideration. We will take that into consideration. The way we did our last one, which is not ideal, was we kind of did it something like this, which is a design we originally saw on Reddit. Something similar to this, right? Where all of these fire off, and then these fire off after we're done on the runway. I like that constraint, but you can reach a much higher speed if you don't have to worry about slowing down at the end of the runway. And considering the two largest YouTubers that I've seen, quote unquote, set the land speed record, they did not take it into consideration. So we're not going to take it into consideration. But there does have to be a Kerbal. There does have to be a Kerbal. So now the question makes me wonder. So what happens physically if we do this? I would like to know. And the game will tell us. But we need to set it up properly before we do that. We're going to have a method of ejection. Gonna have a method for this to eject. It'll be interesting to see what happens. Yeah, those parachutes should not fire off until after all is said and done. All right, so we're getting, we have the core land sleeper. This is the Mark 1. I think we have the core of what we're looking for. There are a couple things we need to figure out before we do our launch, which is going to be, we don't want auto friction. I want friction to be as high as possible on the rear wheels. Braking power doesn't matter because we're not even going to slow it down, right? The auto suspension, we want spring strength and damper strength maxed out on both of these. And we're using these because they have such a high clearance. And then auto adjust steering, we want the angle limiter to be like 10%. We don't want this thing to oversteer and flip and explode. Okay. And then as for our center of thrust is there. That doesn't make much sense. Oh, another thing we need to do. We need to make sure all of these vectors only control the yaw. That's seeming like all of them. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay. I think we're going to give this a try. And this is seeming like it should work. And the Kerbal should be able to eject safely after setting the record. Now, as for the vehicle, we will not be slowing down because both designs that I've seen and going by the core value of viewership, okay, this one, see, there are a couple different criteria, right? What are the criteria exactly? Because they got up to 435, but then their thing flew into the air and exploded. But the Kerbal walked away. So they're different criteria. We're going to go with, as long as the Kerbal survives and we can recover the vessel, then the land speed is official. That's what we're going to go with. That's what I'm sticking with. Because if we have to slow down the whole vehicle, that constrains us to it requires thrusters on the front and tons of parachutes and so on and so forth. We're going to just stick with this. Yeah, as far as the structure of this is concerned, I think we're good. I think we are... The core structure of this is okay. I don't think it's going to need a... We'll see. We'll see. Just strut those together, kind of. We need control surfaces. Like this. We need them to be smaller with a wing angle right above. Yeah. Okay. And then we're gonna alt click that, duplicate, and then put one right down there. So those are right above the rear wheels, effectively. That should give it some very solid stability, kind of acting as like a spoiler on a car. Like if you've seen like an F1 race car, Formula One, they have those spoilers on the top back to create downward force on the rear wheels to increase traction. This kind of does the same thing, except it's not as high up, so it won't cause any type of flipping backwards. and it's directly above the rear wheels. So this should do pretty well. We'll see how this handles. No guarantees. No guarantees. But these 5 vector engines is, oh, we're gonna go flying. One way or another, we are gonna go flying. Whether it's stable or unstable is besides the point. 300, 400, 500, 600, 700, eject, parachutes. Oh, my game. I'm getting 1 frame a second. I think it worked. Ejecting. Holy shit. Holy shit. No! We got 700. I don't know about highest speed over land. I don't know about that. I don't know if that counts. I don't know if that counts. We activated the parachutes too late. But it worked. Our core design worked right off of the bat. We got 700 meters per second. Now, the 2 videos that I've seen of people saying they've beaten the land speed record, we just beat both of them. But our Kerbal didn't survive. So all we need to do is make sure that we have a little bit more ability to slow down. That actually worked really well. For the first try, that worked surprisingly well. I'm not going to change much. We're going to save it and try it again. That was 700 meters per second. Now, we're within the criteria of not needing to slow down the vehicle at the end of the runway. We can redesign it to slow it down at the end of the runway. 300, 400, 500, 600, 700. Ejecting. Oh, ejecting. Holy shit. Oh my. Woo. And we are landing safely. Bill Kerman's not feeling too great, but he is alive. All right, I don't believe the 1409. I don't believe it. I think we got... I'm going to check back on the stream quickly. Right before we ejected. That's what counts. I see 730. I see 730. No, 734 meters per second. Now, I'm not sure where the 1400... You can see for a single frame, that it goes to 1400 meters per second when we eject, but that doesn't count. That doesn't count. The reality is the thing said 734, and then it went down slightly when we started to turn, and then we ejected. So that was the highest, 734 meters per second. That's official. Okay, now that we hit 734, welcome to One Blue Flame. What is the land speed record? I'm not sure. I don't think there's any official record of what it actually is. I've only seen two streamers, two YouTubers with a large viewer base claim that they have beaten the land speed record. And I think the one I saw, they only got to 650 meters per second. So technically, we did just beat their record. So now we're going to redesign it to slow down before it flies off of the runway. So we've had a solid run in which the Kerbal can eject. Now we're meeting the criteria in which the Kerbal is not allowed to eject and has to stay with the vehicle. I see Matt Lown do something like that. Yeah, I'm not sure. I've seen I saw Blitz video. This YouTuber Blitz, he posted a day ago, and his top speed was 615 meters per second. His top speed was 615. I can put in the description of the video. Real civil engineer got up to 348, but he made some monstrosity. He got up to 348. He made some crazy monstrosity, though, which is pretty cool. I'm going to edit that in the video. 615. I've seen higher than that. That's the thing. Look, I'm not going to edit it in the video. I've seen multiple records that people have said that they've achieved. I'm just going to achieve my record. I just got on stream live. I just got 734 with the vessel recovered. The Kerbal was alive at the end of the flight. Right before we ejected, we hit 734 meters per second. It can be viewed on stream. It was recorded live. The design process and the achieving of the land speed record was all recorded live. Now we are going to meet a different criteria, design criteria, in which the Kerbal cannot eject from the vehicle, but has to remain in the vehicle, and the vehicle has to remain intact at the end of the runway, which is a different criteria. We're not going to be able to get as fast with this. But it's a different criteria. And we need a ton of parachutes if we expect to slow down in time. And we're going to need to use Action Group Manager. It's a little bit more particular, this design requirement. So here's how it's going to work. We're going to fire these off the same way we did last time. But at the end of the runway, we're going to fire these off, cut these engines off, and deploy all of the drogue chutes immediately. And then we're going to deploy the parachutes. So the drogue parachutes and then the parachutes to get maximum slowdown conventionally. So it's going to be a little bit different. Okay, so let's get the group manager going now. All right, we're also going to need our brakes on the rear wheels to turn on. So here's how it's going to go. We're going to reverse to the beginning of the runway because the runway does continue beyond the starting point. We're then going to launch from that point, and then we are going to slow down before the end, the very, very end of the runway. This is what we're attempting. Okay, so when we press 1, we want to toggle on these 4 engines. So toggle engine. Toggle just allows us to turn them off and on with a single button push, right? And then 2 is going to allow us to toggle these engines on. So we have 1 to turn these off and on, 2 to turn these off and on, and then we have 3, which is going to be the absolute, like, stop the vehicle as quickly as possible button, right? So what it's going to do is it's going to disable these engines. When we press 3, we're going to disable these engines. The rear engines. The forward thrust engines. Why does it... That's so odd. Okay, so when we press 3, we're disabling all of these. Whether they're toggled on or off, it doesn't matter. They're getting disabled when we press 3. And then we're enabling all of these. Yeah, enable, not toggle. Enable an engine. So when we press 3, we're disabling these, enabling these, and then we are activating all of the drogue chutes, all of the Mark 12s. So deploy, right? We've got quite a few of them. The game is gonna, like, pause for a solid 5 seconds and then finally register all of this at the same time. But it has to be simultaneous in order for it to be as quickly as possible, right? We're trying to send set the land speed record. Ten of them. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 10 drogue chutes. We want to make sure that these are all set to immediate. Okay, so we have all of the drogue chutes set to immediate, and then these are going to be set to safe. Or we'll do risky. We'll do risky. Yeah. But I think what we're going to do is have a fourth button, which is going to activate our deploy. I think deploy overrides any type of settings, right? Because you arm the parachute and then those settings deploy it. Yeah. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 regular parachutes, which when we press 4 will deploy, not just arm, but deploy. And then we have to make sure that these are set to only yaw, left and right, because we don't want them moving up and down and making us fly into the air. Yeah, yaw is like left and right, like this. Okay. All right, I think that our control group managers are set properly. None of these actually matter. These we're not actually going to be pressing the space bar at all. Give me a second, I'll be right back, and then we're going to launch this thing. All right, I'm back. And we will be launching this thing now. If I can remember all of the buttons that I need to push, we should be okay. So it's 1 to toggle on and off. Okay, we need to turn our thrust to 0. It's 1 to toggle those front ones on. So we're going to go backwards. Then I think I'll save the game. I'll save the game so we don't have to reload from this point again. Okay. Our wheels are touching the tarmac. So I'm gonna save the game here as launch 1. We are going to disable the front engines. We are going to enable the rear engines, and we are set for launch. And then right before we hit the end of the runway, we're gonna press 3 in order to disable these, enable these, and then activate all the parachutes. And then we press 4, or to activate all the drogue chutes. Then we press 4 to activate the parachutes to stop us entirely. Oh, we also need to be holding B. I forgot to... We'll be holding B. It's okay. But I forgot to make it so it enabled the brakes as well. But then again, the brakes don't provide nearly as much, like, slowing down power, stopping power, as the vector engines do. All right, let's do it. $500, $600, $700, and 3. We went too far. God. We hit 785, but we went too far. All right, let's attempt it again. If it doesn't work out, then we need to fix the buttons so that when we press 3, it also activates the brakes. All right. Oh. So 1, 2, and we're off. I need to remember to press B. 300, 400, 500, 600, 700. Oh, slow down, damn it. Press 4, press 4, press 4. Oh, so close. So close. Woo! Okay, I think we need to fix some stuff. It seems like 2 of the parachutes aren't activating. Two of the parachutes aren't activating in our action group manager. So 1, 2. Yeah, there's 6 of them. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And then here we have 1, 2, 3, 4. Oh, those 2 aren't activating. Yeah, those 2 weren't activating. And it seemed like the parachutes... Oh, we also need 3 to... ground? We need to... On the rear wheels... enable... activate wheel brakes. There we go. Activate wheel brakes. When we press 3. Okay, that should be helpful. We almost got it. After we went over the edge at the end of the runway, we started flying backwards because of the thrust from the vectors. So we were very close. And we hit 780 something? That's pretty insane. That's pretty insane. We hit 734 in our previous design. So we're actually getting faster with the harder design, which is a little bit crazy. Which is making me think we could probably... We could probably get even faster with that previous design. We are stable. We're going to press 1 to turn those engines off, 2 to turn those engines on, and then we'll press 3 to slow down, 4 to finish our... Yeah. So I'm going to save the game as launch 2, and we will begin. All right, let's do it. $300, 100, 500, 600, 700. Oh man. The game is just like, what do I do? And we made it. And we made it. I pressed V by accident right at the end. $754 meters per second over land within the span of the runway at the Kerbal Space Center. Highest G-force experience, 21.6 Gs. Let's do it one more time. I feel like we can do that a little cleaner. But that was 754. I was pressing B and I accidentally pressed V and it messed up the camera right at the end. Try disabling the gimbal on the main engines. Welcome, Goomper. Yes, I have them set to only yaw. We could lower the see, I only have them set to yaw, so they can only turn left and right horizontally. In my experience, when we have them set to pitch or roll, it launches you up into the air, which, you know, obviously invalidates the, yeah. But as for the gimbal limit, I think we're okay. I think we're okay. It feels pretty stable. It's wiggly, but we're going at 700 meters per second on the ground, so it's going to be a little wiggly. All right, let's try it again. So, yeah, I think we're ready to go. $500, $600, $700. Oh, we just passed the end of the runway. We just passed the end of the runway. I think that invalidates the run, right? Let's see what we got though. Let's see what we got. It was close. It was close. 761. That was even faster. We're doing different criteria. So for this criteria, yes, we have to be on the runway for it to count. We have to, not on the runway necessarily, but in between the beginning and the end, that stretch of distance between the beginning and the end of the Kerbal Space Center runway. See? Between this point right here and that point all the way in the distance. It has to be between these 2 points. That's the criteria. Now, if you go on the grass over here or over here, it's okay. It's generally this rectangle of area. But we did pass this slightly. And also in the criteria, the Kerbal has to be alive and the vessel has to be intact at the end of the run. We previously just did a run in which the Kerbal was able to eject from the vessel, and we got 734 meters per second. All right, let's try it again. $400, 500? 600? 700? All right, what did we get? That was a good run. That was clean. We stopped before the end of the runway. 738 meters per second within the criteria. Within the criteria. I don't think I've ever seen anyone break this level of speed over land within the runway at the Kerbal Space Center. I think this is the first time this speed has been reached ever on the runway at the Kerbal Space Center. Within the distance, the length of the runway at the Kerbal Space Center. We will launch again to just see if we can get a little higher. We'll do one more run of this criteria, and then I want to go back to that other criteria where we can eject to the Kerbal from the front of it, because I have a feeling we can get much faster. All right, let's go. $400? 500? 600? 700? Well, the game just can't handle all the parachutes. Oh, we went way too fast. We went way too fast. We went way too fast. 796. We flew too close to the sun. All right, well, our previous run was our record, right? Our previous run was what, 734 or something? $738. I'm gonna put it in the description right now. $738 meters per second within the distance of the runway at the KSC while keeping the vessel intact and the Kerbal alive. Slowing down before the end of the runway. Those are the criteria. You have to slow down before the end of the runway while keeping the vessel intact and the Kerbal alive. So we just reached 738 meters per second. Now what we're going to try is we are going to try a different criteria, which I believe we have the old save for, right? It's the one that doesn't have 736. Here, this one. This is the Mark 1. Yeah, this one doesn't have any way to slow down. So this one, the difference with the criteria is we can go beyond the runway and it's official as long as the Kerbal survives. The vessel does not have to survive. So this is a different criteria now. Yeah, and with this, all we have to do really is detach. I don't know if we need 2 of these. I think all we need is 1 right here, rotated slightly forward. So this decouples and then this gets thrusted up in this direction, away from the vessel. So we will not be slowing down until the very end. Or unless we lose, I will turn down the gimbal limit to 50% on these. And we're gonna make the Separatrons only like half fuel, because we've noticed that they go flying. All right, there, and then we're good. All right. Now we're attempting to beat the land speed record in which the vessel does not have to remain intact. We will be ejecting the Kerbal into the air and the vessel will crash. Oh, I did not mean to do that. Oh, we're angling quite a bit. I can't control it. Eject, eject, eject. Oh, ejecting. Ah, we couldn't save the Kerbal. Okay, so it's still very wobbly. That was kind of cool, though. I gotta say. All right. We're much more stable this time. Oh, Eject, eject, eject. Oh, saved. All right, we got to change some things about the design. The wings in the back, I think, are causing too much sway. Oh, and another thing I'm noticing is I don't think we added the... I think I know why it's so unstable. We didn't add any struts to the bottom of it. We hadn't done that in the Mark 1. We only did that in the Mark 2. See, in the other version, we had struts underneath it, which kept it much more stable underneath. Kind of like that. Yeah. These do not have to be so large. We're gonna edit them and then copy. That seems like the perfect amount of fuel for the Separatrons. All right, let's do it. $300, $400, $500, $600. Eject, eject. I don't know why it's... Oh. You know what? Okay, we need to go back to the VAB. We need to add more Separatrons. That wasn't enough thrust to keep them from slamming into the ground. I don't know why this is actually less stable than the one we made, which had the vector engines on the front of it. I'm very... Huh. Did we make sure to turn off... Yeah, steering is not enabled on those. You know what? I'm going to put the gimbal strength back up. The gimbal limit. That's a very, like, core thing that we changed about this. Yeah. Oh, yeah, and then we need to take these Separatrons and kind of... We need to put them the way they were before. Oh, and let's steering angle limiter, and then turn up the friction level. Oh, that's so annoying. It's like 4.9 or 5.1. Okay, whatever. All right, are we good? We're good. We should be able to get a higher speed than we got with the other criteria. $500, $600, $700, $800. Eject, eject. Eject, eject. Parachutes, parachutes. Woo! That debris is already 2.7 kilometers away. Holy moly. I think we hit 800. I think we hit 800. No, this isn't correct. That's not correct. That gives you the speed of right. It bugs out like when you eject. Let's see. 853. 853 meters per second before we ejected. That may very well be the new land speed record. 853. I'm just reviewing the footage. $853. Yeah, criteria 1 and then criteria 2. That's insane. Let's do it again. 853. Yeah, that highest speed over land that it shows in the flight report is incorrect. Like when you eject with the stack separator, it skips and you get thrusted forward at just an insane velocity. So that that flight recorder top speed is incorrect. We got 853 last time. $700? 800? 900? Ejecting, ejecting. Oh, oh my fucking. Oh my. Oh, it's coming back towards us. Oh, my. They're finally dropped into the water. I think at this point it's safe to say we're gonna... Well, we can't recover the vessel, so... I think that's a good criteria. Needing to be able to recover the vessel at the end. Because if the whole thing explodes, you can't recover it. All right. Now we can recover it. All right, let's review the footage. We got 853 last time. $700? $800? $900? Ejecting. Oh my. Oh my fucking... Hold up, I need to look at it at 50% speed. We launched off the cliff right before, so I need to... 800? 900? 900? I'd say 953 right before. Right before we went off the cliff, we got 949. 949. 949 meters per second. Wow. Beautiful. All right, I just wanted to beat both of those YouTubers' records and then make a video of it. Oh, and I'll put the timestamps in the description. Where is it at? Oh, there's no timestamp until after I finish streaming. Yeah. All right, I'm gonna leave it here. Actually, let me try one more thing. Let me try one more thing. I'm gonna try unconventional means of reaching the highest speed I can possibly reach on land. Thank you, Goomper. I appreciate it. So this is what we're gonna do now. All right. We're gonna use unconventional means in order to achieve the fastest possible land speed. we should be able to get over... Well, let me think about... This is pretty interesting. No. I think we have to use... We have to use this. Yeah, we're using unconventional means now. AKA the Kraken Drive. Which we have abused thoroughly at this point. Not abused, exploited. There we go. Well, this is going to be absolute insanity. I'm already calling it. This is going to be absolute insanity. I don't even know what's going to happen. I just know that it's going to be insanity. We're probably just going to explode immediately, but it's worth trying, right? Is this going to work? I do not know, but we are going to try. Land Kraken. You gotta understand, this is gonna be absurdity. Oh, yes, of course. We need the... stack separator. And we need to pray that this does not instantly explode. Oh yeah, so we need the separatrons, because the Kerbal has to survive. That's part of the criteria. Oh, oops. All right, I think with that, we are set. Let me check the center of mass. I don't know why the center of thrust is so off. That doesn't make sense. Should be okay. Oh, oops, I forgot to change the staging. Yeah, and I forgot to launch at the right. Okay, we forgot a couple things, but we'll get it. All right, that should be good. We need to make sure that these are not steering. We don't care. We don't even care about braking power with this. Oh, and of course we need some control surfaces at the rear. These do not have to be so large. All right, that should be perfect. Let me check this again. All right, yeah, let's try it. This is the land Kraken, and again, we forgot to launch from the runway. All right, let us pray. Oh my, I don't know how this is gonna work out. Oh, well, it just didn't work out. Okay, I know what we need to do. It's because of the way we designed it. Now we can either take that and just do that. That works. That works fine. All right, let's do it. Oh my. Getting this to work is going to be very difficult. The center of mass is basically right in the center, like right in the middle. Oh, also, these aren't going to decouple. So these can't really be attached to that. Yeah, I don't know about this design. I don't know about this design. It's gonna be hard. Oh, it just says, oh, no. Actually, we actually got a Delta V number now. Yeah, so it's pulling down on the... I have an idea. Let's try this instead. Get rid of these. Detach this. Detach this. But this... back here. Put that on the front there. Yeah. Now we're talking. Does it look extremely jank? Yes. But it may just keep it from nosediving into the ground immediately. We will see. But yes, we need to keep the thrust very low. Very, very low in the beginning. Oh, it's working. It's working. Oh my fucking... Oh my... Oh my... Oh my... Did you see that? Oh my. Bill Kerman is very happy about that. We have it. We have it. It looks like serious jank, but I'm telling you, I was only going about 30% max thrust. We have it. We have it. Yeah, now unfortunately, if I speed up time, it doesn't... Oh no, it's working. We're fine. Let's check back on the... I need to check back on the stream. That was insane. We were at 30% thrust. We hit 896 meters per second. Oh, that's insane. And we were only at 30% thrust. That's insane. Okay, we're gonna revert to launch. And we're gonna... Just give me a sec. I'll be right back. I'm back. I see it started rolling forward. That extra distance isn't gonna make a difference. All right, let's go lower. Okay, let's do it. Let's go. See, we went too fast. You can't... We need to... You can't go too fast, otherwise it nosedives. Huh. What happens if I use heavy landing gear? What happens if we use this landing gear? Oh, it's so goofy. We'll find out almost immediately whether we need to just switch back to our other landing gear. Okay, these back ones, we want steering not to be enabled. Okay. All right, let's see what happens when we do this. It was stable last time, so I'm not going to change anything about the core design. Absolutely insane. All right, we got to start very slow. You can see how stable it is, though, right? Yeah, so... Oh, look at that. Okay, so what happened was we were too high up, and it rolled over. Our center of thrust was too high above the ground. So yeah, we can't actually use those. Now they compress a lot more. So we shouldn't completely rule out using large landing gear. Now, I think this is making it a little bit less stable. So we're going to do that. Hopefully that keeps it a little bit better attached to this thing. Yeah. It's making me wonder as well, because that center of thrust is not what we want. There we go. That's what we want. That's what we want. Yeah. I mean, if we get this thing stable and to the point we want it to be at, we could see upwards of 1,500 on the ground. Oh, it's stable. It's stable. Warp speed! We got the launch music sound. That was beautiful. Hold on, let me see that again. So it's stable now. It's stable. We went off the ground just for a brief second because of a bounce, but we were able to actually control it, get it back to the surface, and then we cranked the speed up. We hit 924. 924. So we're getting there. We're getting there. If we get this thing functioning the way we want, it's going to be absolutely insane. Let's revert to launch. What's insane to me is how the thing just goes absolutely flying. Chubbs, welcome back. Chubbs, we're doing a land speed record using the Kraken Drive now. It's the third criteria. We did the 2 conventional ways, and now we're doing the unconventional way. So it seems like we need to get up to speed, and then we crank it. All right, crank it. Oh, man, we hit 1,170. Woo! We need the largest wheelbase possible. We could add some struts to make it actually look better, but I don't know if we can actually add... We can't actually add struts to the landing gear, which is... Yeah. About that. What we could do is... something like this to make it look less stupid. There we go. That should be perfectly flat now. Makes it look a little bit more stable. Kind of. I wonder if you put wings upside down, if it would hold it to the ground. Yes, we have those rear wings actually have a center of pressure, which is pointing downwards right in front of these rear wheels. It's pretty stable. We made it to 1,000. I need to check. I need to check the recording, but I'm pretty sure we made it to 1,000 meters per second. Over 1,000 meters per second on land. I'm almost certain we just made it to over 1,000 meters per second. I'm totally gonna make a video after this and slow-mo my record runs. Have you thought about using Land Rover wheels, the big ones? I have not, but I can try. I don't think that the way that they have their suspension set, and that was official because we recovered the vehicle, so that was our official Kraken attempt. I need to revert to VAB, but I need to check our actual speed. Let me go playback 0.25. Okay, there were 3 frames. We hit 118. No. 129. No. 149. Just before takeoff. No, we'll say 129 to be safe. 129. We hit 129. No, not 129. 1129. Criteria 3, we reached 1129 meters per second. 1,129 using the Kraken Drive before ejecting the Kerbal to safety beyond the distance of the runway. Before flying off the cliff and ejecting the Kerbal to safety beyond the distance of the runway. Exactly. All right. I'm going to attempt to use the rover wheels. I don't know how they're going to handle such high speeds. I suspect that they're not going to handle them very well, but we will attempt to use them. So let's do, we'll title this one Rover. Land Kraken Rover. And we'll put the large... the large rover wheels on it. Yeah, that was insanely stable. That I did honestly not expect it to have such stability. All right, land Kraken rover. Let's give it a try and see what happens. Oh, I meant to turn the steering off on the rear wheels. Yeah, steering not enabled on either of these. Yeah, steering not enabled. All right, let's go. Oh. Oh, we did a barrel roll. We're flying. We're flying. Let's go to space. Oh, look at how that's wobbling right there. They seem to work okay. It just the center of gravity is too high, so we flip over really easily. The center of mass is much higher than this contact with the surface. I don't know how this might help. This might help. Let's make sure that these have steering enabled. We want spring and yeah. Steering disabled on the rear wheel. Yeah. And then steering enabled, steering enabled. All right. Give it another try. We lowered the... We brought the wheels up. We lowered the center of mass slightly. But those medium landing gear are just so good. All right, let's do it. That's pretty stable. Oh no, we took off. So our wings need to be they're causing a cantilever effect around the wheels. So we need to make sure that they're that center of pressure, right? This is not, see how it's pushing behind the wheels? We need to move these up. That's why that happens. The nose lifts up and then we get lift off. We need those to be a little bit, even a little bit more, I'd say. Yeah, there we go. Yeah, that should be good. All right, let's save this. Give me 1 sec, I'll be right back, and then we'll launch it. All right, I am back. Let us attempt to launch this again. It was pretty stable. It was actually very stable up until liftoff, which is a good sign. A good sign. All right, let's go. Again, I don't understand why we're lifting off. Our center of pressure is in front of the rear wheels. I'm gonna move these forward even more. I don't know what else to do, honestly. Yeah, now that's clearly in front of the rear wheels. We'll move them even one more. And then what I'm gonna do, just as a even further precaution, is I'm going to make sure that this only controls the roll and the yaw. Right, that way it won't attempt to pitch up in order to counteract any movement downward. Little fin in the front, big fin in the back. Yeah, like a spoiler in the front and then 2 fins in the problem I run into is it drives the nose into the ground. Yeah, I don't... We may need wings in the front. I don't understand why the note... It doesn't make physical sense. It does not make physical sense. But yeah, the only other alternative, and ideally the wings would be like that. And then these would be... Yeah. Okay. That's gonna drive the nose into the ground slightly though, so we'll see what happens. Yeah. We're looking backwards. I still don't understand why it's lifting off. We landed on the wheels though. Try lowering the front a little bit. I may raise the back because I already have the wheels like already. If we raise the back wheels, it'll do the same. But if you look at our center of pressure, like, it doesn't make physical, like, I just don't understand why it's launching into the air. It's something weird with the suspension. Like, what's happening is it's bouncing the front wheels up into the air, and the second the front wheels bounce up into the air... Oh, oops, I did it the wrong way. Yeah, my brain's starting to get a little bit fried, honestly. But we've achieved 3 land speed records now. Yeah, I keep thinking this is the front. I don't know why I keep doing that. No, I know why I keep doing that. It's because the cockpit is in the back of it. So it looks like it should be going this way to the left, but it's actually going to the right. That's like the weird thing about the Kraken Drive, is it works backwards. It makes the Rapier engine create thrust in the opposite direction. All right, now we're very slightly angled forward and down. Again. Make the back stick up higher than the front. Yeah, yeah. We'll do it even more. But as for these wheels, I think it has more to do with the fact that the nose is bouncing up because of how the wheels are handling the suspension. Like, I think if we do the same thing with the landing gear, it won't do this. Because landing gear is designed for extreme high speeds. These wheels are not designed for extreme high speeds. So now we're definitely tilting forward. Yeah, it's kind of doing the same thing. There's a balance where you don't want your center of mass to be too high above the contact with the ground. And you can see that our center of mass is pretty high above the contact with the ground. Whereas this one is closer. These wheels are closer to the this is the one we just got the record with. I may save this design because this design is pretty awesome. We're stable, cranking it. Oh my God. Oh my. Woo. That was crazy. That was crazy. I think we got to like 970 or something. That did not beat our previous record. Our previous record's 1,129, which was achieved on stream. It was achieved on stream. We'll make a video of all the record attempts. Yeah, this is perfectly stable. I think it has more to do with the spring strength. Yeah, the spring strength and the damper strength need to be maxed out on this. And I'm saving this design into a notepad. Land Kraken. That way we can load it back in. We have our Kraken Munracer and our land Kraken. All right, now that we've changed the suspension, we may get a little bit more stability at those higher speeds. Oh my. I do not know what. 1,047 meters per second. $1,040 meters per second. Yeah, I've seen a drag racer before. I've seen Formula One cars. I know what you're talking about. where you have the front fin, which is driving down. It creates downforce on the wheels, so they maintain traction. But in this case, because we're going 1,000 meters per second, what ends up happening is it compresses the suspension so much that the nose just crashes into the ground. So we need to really have it balanced, and it's very difficult to do with multiple sets of wings. I've tried it. There's a whole video that I posted trying that. I got about 400 meters per second doing that. Oh! Oh my. I don't even know. I think the wheels fell off. We hit like 120 something. We hit like 120. Why do I keep saying 100? We hit 1,120 meters per second, and then the wheels just disappeared. This is the design, though. This is the design. Like, getting to 1,000 meters per second on the surface is absurd. It's absurd. All right. Last attempt. Oh my. I don't even know. I don't even know. That thing is stuck on our screen. Look, it's just stuck on our screen. It just says land Kraken 1. That's how fast we went. Oh, that is absurd. Yeah, those statistics in the flight status don't make any sense. 3,138 Gs? Yeah, that doesn't actually make sense. But yeah, I'm gonna leave the stream here. I think we broke a couple records in this live stream, and I will start working on uploading a short video detailing the design and breaking of the 3 criteria, the records in the 3 criteria. So GG's, have a good night, and I'll probably be on tomorrow with more Kerbal or possibly Nebulous Fleet